Hi friends, it's Audrey back with another layout today. This one is for Confessions of a Paper Addict. Today I am using a cut file called Inner Wave. It's a really pretty detailed wave cut file inside a circle. And my thought with this cut file is I'm going to make it really large, and I'm actually going to fill the circle with my photo. I have a photo of my kids here swimming in the lake, and there's a lot of negative space, empty space in this photo. So I'm dragging the photo right into Silhouette Studio, and I put the cut file over the photo, and I'm just gauging actually how big my photo should be. So I'm just kind of trying to fit my photo within the space that I want it to be. And you'll notice that when I have my photo highlighted, it actually says 7.13 by 9.51. So when I go back into my photo editing software, I make my photo that exact size and print it out. So that photo is 7.13 times by 9.51. And then I have my photo the exact size. There is a way, I use Photoshop to edit my photos. There is a way to, cut out that shape exactly if you really wanted to, but I'm just going to do this and cut it because, it's a big photo and it's not too intricate of a shape, so it'll work out just fine. So I traced with pencil. I went around, cut it out just around the pencil edge. The pencil is very light on the photo, and now I am going to glue my cut file on top of the photo. In retrospect, I probably should have done the photo last, adding it in, because I do a lot of handling this. There's some great shots of my gray hairs there. I do a lot of handling of the cut file here, so I probably should have done the photo last, but it's fine. So I went through just some scraps of pattern paper, and I pulled out scraps just by their color, and I'm just working with, as you can see, some shades of teal blue. I have papers in here from Basic Gray and Fancy Pants, Echo Park, maybe Simple Stories, Heidi Swap, so just a whole range of paper scraps. And I often, when I'm using cut files, will put the glue in the back of my cut file and then put it on the piece of paper and then just cut out once it's glued down. But for this particular file, I decided to trace each shape just because there are a lot of curves, a lot of turns, a lot of shapes overlapping, and I just thought it was going to be easier this way. So I do it different ways depending on what the cut file looks like, how intricate it is, the shape of the spaces that I'm backing. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it this way. So I'm not going to show you this whole thing, obviously. It takes quite a bit of time. This probably took me a good hour and 15 minutes to back the whole thing. So I'm just kind of showing you the different snippets there of me backing it. You can see I did kind of use a pattern to my colors. I kind of tried to go from the darker colors to the lighter colors within each wave to kind of get a nice flow there. So for my background, I went through and I picked out a whole bunch of different blue cardstocks. I wasn't sure, and then I tried the yellow because I thought maybe something contrasting, but I definitely want to go with blue. And I know this is going to look very monochromatic, but I kind of like the way that is. So the photo and the papers I used are more teal, and I decided to go with the navy background. There's a little bit of navy in the photo, like in the horizon line and stuff, so I think that picks up on it nicely. So I'm going to do some mixed media behind the photo. I added some clear gesso. You can see what the clear gesso did to the color. The center there is not gessoed, and I did put a little blob of dark mist in the middle. I just wanted to see what that color looked like. But so it did darken it a little bit, and it wasn't quite the same color, but it's fine. It's still dark navy. And I started going through with some white acrylic paint, and I thought maybe like doing these kind of rays outside the circle. I don't really end up loving that. So I go back over with it with some just some water to kind of thin it out a little bit, and then I'll go over with some mists. Same thing with my mists that I do with my pattern paper. I just go through and I pull out things based on color. So I have some color shine, I have some shimmers, I have some Distress Oxide mists. So Yeah, I just pick out the mists really based on their color. I love that little bit of kind of purpley color, that lilac color I added in there with the Distress Oxides. The Distress Oxides obviously do have a much more opaque covering, and then this little bit of the Heidi Swapp Color Shine gives a nice shimmer, that teal, probably my most favorite color and brand of that color. So that has dried. I did add a few white splatters and some navy splatters, and now for me, this was the most difficult part of this layout because I wasn't quite sure how to embellish this. I didn't really want to cover up the cut file because there's a lot of awesome detail there. I pulled out some stickers and a few other things. I cut this title out. I thought maybe I was going to put it around the edge or maybe over the photo where the empty space is. I do love those stickers there. I dug out a whole bunch of stuff, and I really struggled with this because of the design. I mean, I love the design. That was the problem. I didn't want to cover it up. And so I decided that I'm really not going to do too much to embellish. Like, I'm gonna kind of leave it like it is and just let the cut file and the mixed media speak for itself. I mean, you can see I added a couple stickers there. In thinking of a title, I loved the thought of the kids drifting in the lake, so I'm going to just title it Adrift. Oh, these little foam things, for a second I thought, oh, maybe I should make these little white arrows seagulls because they're the perfect seagull shapes. But I just wanted the arrows to kind of point to the title. So I'm going to have the arrows point to the title. That's going to be my title. And yeah, I'll add a couple more stickers here, but that is pretty much it in terms of embellishing. I'm not going to do too much more. I often don't cover up my photo with a lot of embellishments because I like the photo to speak for itself also, and I like the photo to kind of shine, but in this case my photo was pretty large and there was a lot of white space in the photo, so it worked just fine. So I'm just going to add a few things in there. Now I'm going to back this circle with some foam and to pop it up off the background. You can see I also pulled out some sequins there. My plan is to add some sequins around those waves a little bit just to give them a little sparkle and shine. And I think that about does it. So after I added the sequins, I did go through and I stitched a line around kind of little arrows by the title all the way around the circle, and then I wrote my journaling within that line, and I had a few sketchy lines with my pen as well. And there it is. You can see the sequins there on the cut file, but I do love this cut file so much. I definitely will use this one again in a different capacity. So that's it for this page today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed. You can go find this cut file in the Confessions of a Paper Addict store. And stay scrappy, friends. I'll see you soon.